Hey guys, what's going on? Inception here, and welcome to another video. This is a pretty big day in regards to the title update for FIFA 20. This is already the first patch that EA is going to be releasing. People said that this is a fat update, so we're going to be checking out a lot of the gameplay. Ooh, that's a lot of stuff to review. This is going to be an interesting video. This is going to be uploaded for today as well. Not really an upload for tomorrow. We're doing 2 uploads a day now, so you know the dealio. Okay, so let's get started. Hey FIFA fans, the latest title update for FIFA 20 is now available and includes the changes below. For more details on some of these changes, blah blah blah. Okay, gameplay general. Made the following changes. Goalkeepers will be more likely to push the ball further away from the net when they make a save that would result in a rebound. Great. That's actually that's pretty solid. It's a responsiveness issue with the rebounds, right? When they just put it like right next to the person, so that's pretty cool. Improved the responsiveness of dribbling. Okay. Improve the responsiveness of dribbling when not using any dribbling modifiers or skill moves for players that have an average rating of 80 or higher between the attributes of dribbling, agility, and balance. The effectiveness of this improvement will scale based on the average rating, with the least improvement being felt at 80 and the most improvement felt at 99. This will not have an impact on players that do not have an average rating of 80 or higher between the attributes of dribbling, agility, and balance. See, that's weird because I'm wondering if that's going to fix the dribbling issue in terms of responsiveness in the game right now. So I'm curious to see what that's actually going to mean. In terms of like the one-to-one control. In a penalty kick situation, we have increased the range that a goalkeeper will react to the ball and attempt to make a save when they are standing still in the middle of the net. This will result in goalkeepers being more likely to react and make saves to shots that are placed close to where they are standing when they are standing in the middle of the net. Reduce the effectiveness of contain and secondary contain by making the following changes. Players that are being controlled by contain or secondary contain will no longer sprint to catch up to the player they are trying to defend. Players that are being controlled by contain or secondary contain will no longer sprint to catch up to the player they're trying to defend. Oh, I see. So when you're second man pressing, they're not going to sprint, and then when you're holding, X, when you're holding X, they also don't run after the person too. That's kind of cool. Players that are being controlled by contain will now take longer to react to the ball carrier movement. That's great because I actually don't even use contain that often. Because I'm assuming that's the specific command that they're talking about, right? Secondary contain already okay, sorry. Players that are being controlled by contain will no longer take to react to the ball carrier's movement. Okay. Reduce the effectiveness of lofted ground passes and lofted through passes by increasing the amount of error present when making these passes. I actually like that because there's certain situations people were making passes through your players where, the defender doesn't have an animation for these passes. You know what I'm saying? So it just allows people to just bounce the ball over your players. Like in last year's game, how that was like one of the frustrating ways to concede a break, or to not concede, but for someone to go on a breakaway or whatever, they would just do a bounce pass randomly, not like through commands. But in this game, you can now. But there's no like variable defending and that actual bounce pass because they don't react to it that well. So that's a pretty good improvement too. Adjust the following issues. Players were sometimes being knocked back unrealistically when being hit by the ball. Yes, that's a big one. Low-driven shots were being impacted by more error than the other types of shots when being taken in easy shooting situations, such as when there is low defensive pressure or when the player is well bounced and control the ball. So I guess they're adjusting driven shots, so that's pretty cool. Sometimes a goalkeeper was punching the ball in a situation where they should have easily caught it. Good. Sometimes the goalkeeper would not correctly control the ball at their feet after making a knockdown save. True. When dropping the ball as a goalkeeper, it was always being dropped in the same direction regardless of where the player was aiming. That's true as well. That was very awkward. At kickoff, passing the ball without aiming the pass was resulting in the ball being passed to a spot where it was often being intercepted by the opponent. Yeah, I had that one time happen to me. Offside was sometimes not being called correctly in situations where the ball was received by the offside player. Directly from a deflected shot or a poor shot. Offside was sometimes not being called correctly in a situation where the ball was received by the offside player directly from a deflected shot or poor shot. Offside was sometimes being incorrectly called after an in-game cinematic scene following a stoppage in play. Volta football. Don't care about Volta football. Foot. This is the one I want to see here. Made the following changes. So in regards to gameplay, the dribbling is one of the top priorities, which is pretty great. But right stick switching not being in there is a huge problem because right stick switching doesn't work currently. So that's a little bit of a concern of mine. So we'll take a look and see what's up with that. Gameplay football, I don't really care too much about right now. FIFA Ultimate Team made the following changes: improve the discoverability of and add a new functionality to multi-swap in the squad screen and squad building challenge screen. When on the club tab on the squad screen, players can now turn on multi-swap regardless of how the players enter the tab. That's good. When multi-swap is active, players will be able to cycle through the positions in their squads, including the subs and reserves, enabling the ability to swap players in all positions without leaving the club tab. Good. The minimap on the screen shows which position you are currently selecting and now includes subs and reserves. Nice. When highlighting a specific position in the squad, there's an option to refresh the search results to update based on the currently selected position. Adjustments to player item swapping functionality in the club tab. When changing to the club tab without having specifically selected a position on your squad list, it will no longer assume that you want to swap players for a specific position. When you select a player select a player item on the club tab, it will not automatically send that player to your squad. Instead, you will need to manually change back to the squad tab. Okay. Once you have done this, you will not be able to specifically select a position on your squad that you want to place or swap that player item into. Backing out a player search while on the club tab or the squad screen will no longer take players back into the squad. Updated 2D Pro Trip for 20-foot items. That's good. Adjusted the colors of the dots tracking the completion of squad battle challenges. Requirements to help them make it easier to see. Adjust the following issues. Stability issue related to selecting certain rewards options in Foot Rivals. The issue would not have been impacting players directly as it was being mitigated by adding 1 foot coin to some reward options. Yeah, that's what, when I opened my Division Rivals reward, there was like 1 coin. I was like, what the heck is this? The season objectives widget had overlapping numbers when a player had a high season objective XP total. Managers' names were appearing incorrectly on the comparison panel. When viewing the transfer market tab, the create new squad option was briefly showing at the top of the list before populating with the available squads when loading the squad screen. Visual issue when comparing a goalkeeper to another player on the sub bench while on the squad screen. Volta football. A schedule congestion issue compacting Calcio B team. That's really bad. That means that you guys are going to deal with that even longer. There's still a bunch of issues in career mode right now. Pro clubs didn't really look into pro clubs too much. Audio, minor adjustments to the music in Volta football. Visual presentations, updates to FIFA 20 intro cinematics, updated the star heads for Eden Hazard and Raheem Sterling. Cool. Visual issues impacting some animation when playing Mystery Ball. As shadows and lighting were not correctly aligned with the time of day setting. Goalkeepers were sometimes getting visually distorted during goal decision system screens, and blah blah blah. Okay, so it's a gameplay patch. Obviously, words are one thing, action is another. So we'll see how that ends up being. If this is out for PC, this is going to be out before Foot Champs, I believe, because today's Monday. And I think maybe it might be after Foot Champs. It might be directly after Foot Champs. So we'll see how that works out when this is released. But this is the new information in regards to the gameplay patch notes. The goalkeeper parrying the ball away. This is my Twitch channel. Let me just put this right here real quick. The goalkeeper parrying the ball away being fixed is a really big thing because sometimes when they were parrying the ball away, it would be so close to the other person and they would just get like an easy deflection. I'm sure that Tom said that these patches were from a few weeks ago. Okay, so they're obviously making another one then because this patch in particular seems more like a minor one than I believe the second one, I think, right? But I like this one though, the reduce the effectiveness of contain and secondary contain, where they don't run after players. I like that. The only problem with that right now is that, again, the switching is not up to par. The L1 switching is great. It's the right stick switching that doesn't really work that well. So that's going to be a little bit of a concern over there. I like that they adjusted the lofted passes to have more error behind them because regular passes should be the way you want to take most of your passing opportunities. And when you do a lofted pass in certain situations, sometimes it wasn't really logical for them to get through. You know what I'm saying? So pretty cool. In regards to that, I'm trying to think of like other things. Goalkeepers are a big problem now. Kurtwani doesn't catch any ball. Yeah, the catching issue is a big one. But I think those three are probably the biggest ones, I would say. Yeah, the containing one definitely helps with the whole like defensive AI situation where they're kind of like, a little bit they're a little bit crazy, right? Right now, like everyone's playing 11 at the back, so they have to find a way to nerf that as much as possible. Where it's like you can attack or you transition forward really slow or whatever it is, right? I think that's like the play to go with for now. But some pretty decent patch notes. Tom said that this is a long, like someone in my chat said that Tom said that this is some patch notes from a while ago. I'm just gonna check his. I'm gonna check his Twitter right now. A deep dive into FIFA 20 gameplay. Considering how header, did he reply to anybody? Top of the list, true. Okay. Well, yeah, that's pretty much it. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out, dudes. Love you guys.